Hey, everyone. Oh, God. The mic isn't on. Amazing. All right. We should be good now. No? Why isn't the mic working? This is... Nothing? Really? Nothing. Do you have any sound at all? Whoa. This is trippy. Give me one. Hopefully we get back here soon. I hope. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. We're live, baby. Hey, it's live YouTube. Anything can happen, and it definitely has. I'm Umar Q. This is the AEW Dynamite review for February 21st, 2021. An awesome night of Wednesday Night Dynamite. Also an awesome night for technical difficulties. We love that, but it's okay. The horrors persist, yet so do I. Hopefully everyone's having a great night. Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever new videos release. We got so much to talk about. As I said in the chat, let me know what you guys thought of this show. A lot happened tonight. Of course, you can tell by the title, Wardlow called out CM Punk. Basically, on live TV, AEW continues to talk about CM Punk, even though he is long gone as far as the company is concerned. We also had a monster main event that was setting up a great match at AEW Revolution in a few weeks. Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, and Brian Cage teaming up to take on Hangman Adam Page. Hook and Rob Van Dam, killer main event. 2 women's matches on Dynamite. Christian Cage calling out Daniel Garcia and his father. So much more to talk about. But let me know in the chat, what was your favorite moment from the night? What did you guys love? What did you guys hate? Let me know. Oh boy. Well, let's just get started, I guess, with the first things first. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Great line by a great rapper. But no, for real. So obviously tonight, it was a weird show going into it. We didn't really know what to expect. Just account of, we didn't really know what was going to be on the card. It was almost like AEW does this thing now, and it's been happening more and more over the past number of months, where they don't really announce much before the day of the show. And if you ask me, that's one of the reasons why they've been having so much trouble selling tickets in a lot of these markets. Because when people traditionally want to go out and buy tickets and go to a wrestling show, they do it because they want to see some of their favorite wrestlers perform. You know, the brand matters. That's why WWE has always focused more so on branding the company rather than individual stars. However, you kind of need both. Right? AEW especially needs to lean on some of their bigger stars. And at a time where, you know, you have Kenny Omega out, where you don't have CM Punk anymore, Bryan Danielson is moving back and forth in between here, Japan, and everywhere else he wants to go before his final year of professional wrestling is up. You got to lean on the stars you got. Who do you have? You have Adam Copeland, baby. You have Adam Cole, baby, who's like, granted, he's not wrestling right now, but he's the guy you can lean on to cut promos. He's the guy you can lean on for pre-tapes. I like what they're doing with Sting. They're still using him. They're still using Darby. That's cool. That's fun. It's awesome. But I think, you know, in addition to the new guys and the younger guys, which I really love what AEW's been doing with a lot of the younger talent, the up-and-coming talent, highlighting them in 2024, you also got to lean on your stars a little bit more, I think, to bolster these ratings. Or sorry, excuse me, not the ratings. The ratings are fine, but bolster the live attendance. That and marketing, man. Marketing is something AEW really needs to focus on. I mean, they are they are a very good company. Like, don't get me wrong, AEW is a very good company, and they have the potential to, you know, be awesome and be great and sell a whole hell of a lot more tickets than they have been selling. It's just like, it's just up to them about like how they want to market in these different markets, because it used to be you would go and leading up to an AEW show, leading up to a massive AEW show, you would see billboards, you would see advertising, you would get targeted ads on Facebook, Instagrams, etc. You don't see a lot of that anymore. I feel like it's almost like they've gutted their entire marketing budget. So again, that's my view, and I say this as someone like you who has experience in that field. When you're doing live touring week to week in a different city twice a week, you got to make sure that you have your marketing game up. And I think it's an area definitely of improvement for AEW in 2024, because they don't have the advantage anymore, they don't have the advantage anymore of being a startup that was hot. They don't have the advantage anymore of being the cool new kid on the block or whatever. They are a more so established brand. They're currently going through growing pains. That is understandable. It happens to every company. Every startup eventually goes through this. But AEW is no longer a startup. They are a full-fledged brand, and it's time for them to start investing in that idea and investing in their shows in that way. So that's more so the business end, obviously. But anyway, going back to like my problem with some of this stuff, right, is like going into tonight, there were like 4 matches announced, and I say that very loosely because we knew that Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm were both individually going to be in matches. However, we didn't know who they were going to face, and we kind of know why, because they were kind of squash matches. All right, that's fine. That's fine. We love women's matches on TV. But to Eric's point in the chat, Eric had just said, what's the point of having multiple women's matches if it feels like you're just fast forwarding, right? And I kind of agree with that, especially the Toni Storm match. Like, I understand you want to get your AEW World Champion out there. You want to make sure that people know that she is wrestling, that she is doing her thing, that she is being a fighting champion, whatever that means to AEW. At the same time, though, man, like we got to be honest. We got to be real, because what we're seeing, like that wasn't, in my opinion, that was not like, that was not, like a competitive match. It was, we're having a match for the sake of having a match, which is fine. If that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. And okay, like it'd be like that. But at the same time, like we also, you got to make it a little bit more interesting than that, right? You can't just make it a 2-minute segment or a 2-minute match. It's basically a segment at that point. But needless to say, though, I love the idea of having multiple women's matches on Dynamite. That is definitely a step in the right direction for AEW compared to where they've been. But you got to be honest and real and actually thoroughly tell stories in these, and not just have these throwaway matches, because that's what the Toni Storm match was. It was a throwaway match that led into a slightly more competitive match in the Deonna Purrazzo versus Madison Rayne match. But, you did do one good thing. You did move forward the storytelling of this feud between Deonna Purrazzo and the AEW World Champion Toni Storm, which I love, and I think the feud has more than a lot of potential. I think there's like these two are some of the best wrestlers there are out there. Like Deonna Purrazzo, people still don't understand how big of a get that she was for AEW, and I think like over the next year or so, you're really gonna people are really gonna realize like, oh, this wasn't even just like a person who has great potential. This is someone who already has all the skills to be successful. They just need that more mainstream exposure in order to become a big superstar, whatever that means, right? So look, love them advancing that forward. Absolutely love it. And I also love you guys. I want to hear what you guys had to say about this show. Let me know what you guys thought about the show in the chat. We also put up a poll up on the community tab. So far, we got 25 votes. We just put that poll up. We got 25 votes. And 44% thought tonight's Dynamite was good. 8% said bad. 8% also said meh. And 40% did not watch. It be like that. But, I mean, compared to the past few Dynamites that I put a poll up for, I mean, there were a lot of responses here that were more positive than some of the past ones, right? Like, I think usually Dynamite gets somewhere around, like not even the lower end, but like they usually get like between 35 and 40 around. So it's like slightly like above average, or at least for my community tab. I don't know what y'all feel like. Usually WWE shows ironically do better, even though I feel like I would have thought my audience likes AEW more just because that content tends to perform better. A little sneaky sneak behind the camera, but I don't know. I love it. Whatever you guys love, I love too. You know why? Because I love professional wrestling. So smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Let's talk about the opening match. So they are moving forward with this feud between FTR and the Blackpool Combat Club. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler versus Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley started off the show. Moxley's music has been kicking off a lot of these AEW shows, whether it's Collision or Dynamite, doesn't matter. My man is doing the Lord's work, going out there and opening the show, putting on bangers, and being the star and the flagship for AEW. It's something he's been since he stepped foot in the company. Whenever the chips were down, Jon Moxley was the guy that they always went to. When CM Punk gets injured and the brawl-out situation happens, when brawl-out happens, Moxley was the guy there to pick up the scraps. When CM Punk got injured the first time and he injured his leg, Moxley was the guy who was there to pick things up. Every single time this company needs that guy, he's always there. He is Mr. Reliable. In many ways, he is Mr. All Elite Wrestling. And all that to say, they put on a banger. Time limit draw as Dax was looking to put the sharpshooter in on Claudio, and the 20-minute time limit expired, and both teams were pissed. They were brawling. They were fighting afterwards. People came out to break this up. Obviously, things are not done here. And after the fact, backstage, Dax Harwood called out the Blackpool Combat Club, and they said, hey, 20 minutes wasn't enough. Let's do it one more time. Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli versus Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. Greensboro, North Carolina, deep FTR country at AEW Revolution, which is turning out to be an even bigger show than we all first thought. Like, this is building up to be a very special show for a lot of reasons. You have not only Sting's last match, you have what's likely going to be a great match between these two tag teams, and then you have the AEW World Championship match, the triple threat for the world title, a match where many people, myself included, expect Swerve Strickland to come out victorious and win the All Elite Wrestling World Championship. Greensboro is going to be a special night, just like tonight is a special night for all of y'all watching live. Oh, man. But yeah, I thought the opening match was good. I thought it was really, it's always good to get, like, you know, a bit of a peak in the beginning. And I think, like, it's strategically done, obviously, for business reasons. But also as a fan, I'm like, oh, bet Jon Moxley's coming out. FTR, we're watching this. Like, you know, so I liked it. I thought these two teams have a lot of chemistry. Like, there were a bunch of spots in this match where I thought, like, man, like, they called this in the ring and they're just so good. Like, these are, we forget, right? These are four of the most experienced wrestlers on the planet, if we're being honest, right? They've been around the block. Claudio and Mox have seen everything. And as far as tag team wrestling goes, FTR, they've also pretty much seen everything. There are, like, no, like, you would be hard pressed, I should say, to find four other men who could just go out there and have a banger, and you would trust them to do so. Like, they freaking killed it, my guys. They freaking killed it. Oh, man. Guys, again, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. You want to guarantee your question or statement is read out live on the air and answered, be sure to leave a super chat. Super chat. Super. We love that. What else we got? Well, you know, let's talk about the Wardlow stuff, because that's the title of this stream. That's what everyone seems to be talking about online. People, it's so weird. it's like AEW cannot get out of the shadow of CM Punk at this point, because it's like everything kind of goes back to him. And like, I didn't mind it too much when the Young Bucks did it. Honestly, I did not mind it when the Young Bucks did it. And because it kind of served a bit of a purpose, and it advanced their characters forward. And I'm not saying this did not do the same thing for Wardlow, but at the same time, my G, like, I like the promo. I want to be clear. I like the promo, even the Punk stuff. But I was just like, are we? At this point, like, and I give most wrestling companies a lot of leeway. But at this point, I'm like, man, we're one more CM Punk mention away from me being like, all right, maybe we got to stop this now. We got to stop this. It's getting ridiculous. But Wardlow comes out, and look, we haven't heard Wardlow cut promos a lot recently, especially like basically for the past like year, he has not done much on AEW TV. Ever since he joined the Undisputed Kingdom, things seem to be changing. He's on TV more. He's wrestling more. He's still doing the squash matches. It's kind of like calling back to Wardlow of old, when he would do the old like powerbomb symphony, and they would go out and he would win. But with this promo, right, I think this was a bit of a test for Wardlow, and he passed. I think he passed with flying colors, because his job was to go out there tonight, cut a promo, and tell you why to give a shit about Wardlow. And I believe that he was successful in doing that. I believe that Wardlow did an impeccable job at convincing me that he not only belongs in AEW, but he belongs in the AEW title picture. This is someone who, remember, like, and he mentioned this in his promo, like, when the stuff happened when the stuff happened with MJF at Double or Nothing 2022, a lot of the talk around that match, when Wardlow, this was Wardlow's first ever like big time singles match, a lot of people believed that the controversy around MJF, not showing up to the signing, considering walking out of AEW, all that stuff, and during that Double or Nothing 2022 weekend, many of us believed that, like, that kind of took away a little bit from Wardlow's moment, because it really was his moment. Like, this was the first time we had seen him get a massive win. And this was a massive win for Wardlow. Like, there's no question about it. This is a guy who, like, was muscle for his entire run in AEW, basically. And this was, like, the first time that he was presented as a big-time single star. And, unfortunately, things played out the way they did. Wardlow did not get, the adulation that he probably should have, and the air was kind of taken out of it because of the MJF stuff. But, fast forward to now, I think he retconned a lot of it in this promo, and he did a really good job of I think doing a reset on the character, because he not only mentioned all of those things, he mentioned how he used to be a guy who couldn't walk around in an arena without people chanting his name at the top of their lungs to just another guy, and that he is sick and tired of being treated that way, because he has beat everyone that's been put in front of him. He's beat them down. He has injured them. He mentioned beating CM Punk. He was like, there's people who want to walk around here, call themselves the real world champion. Well, I beat them up so bad their bodies are still falling apart to this day. Hinting towards CM Punk, talking about the time he beat the crap out of him. And ever since then, CM Punk's been breaking down, like, with injuries. And then, he obviously talked about MJF indirectly, of course. They didn't mention his name either. He talked about how, like, he put the guy who says he's better than you, baby, like, he put him down, and he hasn't been seen since. He talked about the current world champion, the most dangerous man in the world. And he said, I'm the most dangerous man in the world because I beat the most dangerous man in the world. Like, Wardlow proved tonight that he does have that fire behind him, that he does have the ability to cut a great promo. I thought this was a very good promo by Wardlow because it was effective in accomplishing what it set out to do, which was make us care about Wardlow, which was make us, look forward to seeing what's next. Because he also said this. He said that he's done with these squash matches. He's done with not competing with the best in the world. He wants to compete with real competitors, and that's what he's going to be doing. I hope to see more of that out of Wardlow moving forward. I hope we can move past these squash matches. Let's get some competitive matches. Give me Wardlow versus an Ethan Page. Give me Wardlow versus a powerhouse Hobbs. Again, run that feud back. Let's go. Because both men are ready. Both men have it in them. And both men will definitely slap the meat out of each other, as we say in wrestling. But yeah, I thought Wardlow did a great job. I think, again, it's one of those things. A lot of people don't expect much out of Wardlow. They see him as basically AEW's version of Goldberg or Ryback or whatever you want to call him. But there is something more. Wardlow, in my opinion, is more charismatic than Ryback ever was. Wardlow, in my opinion, has a much higher ceiling than, Goldberg does as a professional wrestler in the ring, for sure. On promos, too. Like, Goldberg was never a great promo. Goldberg was a vibe, if we're being honest. He was a vibe, more so than anything. And that vibe carried him. It carried him through, some garbage matches, but it carried him nonetheless. I think Wardlow has the ability to really stake his claim in professional wrestling. And look, when his contract is up, I'm telling you, whether or not you like him, whether or not you think that, he has it, this is a guy who is going to go out there and he will get a good offer from WWE. You will get a very good offer from WWE if it ever comes down to it, because they would be crazy to pass up on a guy this talented, especially with his look. And in the land of giants, man, Wardlow's a guy who could definitely succeed. But love this promo. He ended it by saying this, this ain't, we're not playing games. This isn't Dynamite. This is none of that. This is war. This isn't wrestling. That was the line. He said, this isn't wrestling. This is war. And I'm excited to see what Wardlow does next. I'm really hyped. This got me invested. Honestly, this got me invested. I can't wait to see what he does. Just like I can't wait to see y'all hit that like button. Please, please, please. Let's do that. What else we got? What else happened tonight? Great freaking question, people. What the hell else did happen tonight? Well, we had a main event. Is that really all that happened? How could I forget? Ric Flair showed up, everyone. Think of that however you may want to. But, so Ric Flair showed up in the in his limo or whatever. He shows up to the building. He does an interview with Renee Paquette. And he says that, Renee, I don't know if you've known this, but I haven't been around. And, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Sting. I love him, but I haven't been involved. And it's kind of pissing me off. So I'm going to have to explore my options. And he just says, all right, Renee, I'm going to go explore my options. I'm going to go take care of business. And he walks to a door, knocks on the door. Opening the door are the executive vice presidents of AEW, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And Ric Flair just says, hey, let me just talk to you real quick, brother. And they invite him in. Door closes. So they are playing off of the biggest trope of Sting's entire career, which is that no matter what, Sting is going to be the most trusting MFer in the world when it comes to Ric Flair. And every single time, Ric Flair will be the guy to turn his back on Sting. If you watch any time they've ever teamed up in WCW, if you watch any time these two have ever had a feud, it usually starts with Ric Flair betraying Sting. That's always happened. And I like the fact that they were playing off of this. Look, I am not a fan of the integration of Ric Flair in all of this. I'll be so honest with you. I thought it was a mistake for AEW to sign him. That is my opinion. But if you're going to use him as a television character, the character Ric Flair, doing this thing, it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. Because that's literally been the thing his entire career. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I wonder if like Sting if like they're going to do this thing where like Sting forgives Flair in the match and he gives him a low blow before the Young Bucks pin him. I could totally see that happening. Like that is definitely within the realm of possibility here. Yeah, I totally think that's possible. But there's that. I mean, and then, Sting and Darby cut a good promo. Like, Sting cut a great promo. Like, this was, like, I love the Wardlow promo, but Sting won promo of the night for me. They did this, like, backstage vignette and started off with Darby Allin. He's holding a picture in his hand. He's holding a picture of Sting's children right around when they were the Young Bucks kids' age. And he mentions that. He said, this is Sting's kids that you beat up 2 weeks ago, that you bloodied up 2 weeks ago. And they're right around the same age as your kids. And he called back to that, and Sting cut one of the best promos of his career. If there was any way you wanted them to build up to this match, Sting's last match, the anger, the vitriol, the motivation in Sting's voice with that somber tone, though, that somber tone that he's had ever since he became the Crow. I think that he is going to live up to his promise. And the promise that he made in this promo was that he is going to leave everything he has in the ring at Revolution in Greensboro. And I believe him because like the look in that eye, man, this was a great segment. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. The look in his eyes said it all. This is someone who is more motivated than ever. This is someone who is literally going to leave it all in the ring. Every drop of blood, every single piece of sweat, water, it's all going to be on the line. And the AEW Tag Team titles. I can't wait for this. Honestly, during this promo, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I started looking up ticket prices. I was like, all right, so like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Do we try to like switch airports? Because I was like, I need to go to the show. I need to go to Revolution. I mean, it's just such a good show. It's going to be great. We could have crowned a new world champion again. We could have a new women's world champion. Okada could be there because he's going to be there. Will Ospreay is going to have his first match as a full-time AEW talent. We're also going to have, the Sting's last match, obviously. A great trio. They're building up to this trio's unification match with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I mean, this is going to be a stacked card. And then on top of that, Orange Cassidy. By the way, we didn't even talk about Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy versus, not the Miracle. That is not his name anymore. Mike Bennett. Orange Cassidy versus Mike Bennett. Orange Cassidy, they put him over strong in the promo leading up to this match. Because they had him like trying to pick my words here. So just had a brain fart live on the air. It be like that. But Orange Cassidy, they played this like promo that was like building up like everything that recapping, I should say, everything that he's done over the past week. He had a match on Dynamite. He had a match on Collision. He had a match on Dynamite. He went out and he did like a thing at Rev Pro. He wrestled, and now he's wrestling again. So he's in a matter of like 1 week, he's wrestling 3 matches on 2 different continents. Like he is Mr. Workhorse for AEW. He has been ever since he first won the International Championship the first time. Like pound for pound, match for match, there is no better wrestler in the world because no one's doing it more consistently. No one's doing it at a more consistent rate, and no one's doing it while putting their body on the line with gold on the line as much and as better as Orange Cassidy. Like, he is at another level when it comes to wrestling. He's another guy. We talk about pillars in AEW. I know that people want to say there's 4. Really, there's 5 because of Britt Baker. But in all actuality, there's a solid 10. And Orange Cassidy is certainly, at this point, should be considered one of those pillars because he, like, without Orange Cassidy, like, the show would have been okay or it would have been good, but with Orange Cassidy, the show was great. That puts you into perspective what Orange Cassidy means at this point. He is the fighting champion who's going to be there, and you know he's probably going to win, but he's going to be putting on epic match after epic match every single week, and that's why you got him on the show. And I love that. I love that, and I'm so happy for Cassidy. Like, this is a guy who has been working his ass off on the indies for his entire career. When everyone, Jim Cornette, when all these people were calling him out and saying, like, he's not a wrestler, he's a lazy wrestler, what's this gimmick, I don't get it, all this crap about Cassidy. And what is he doing? He's like it's, you could argue that Orange Cassidy consistently is the best wrestler in the world. And you could make a valid argument saying that. And I'm not saying that he is has the biggest star power. I'm not saying that he has the biggest draw power or anything like that. But he's talking about in the ring, he's got to be in the running because consistency matters. He is there every single week, sometimes twice a week, defending that belt. And he's been on nearly every show. He's main evented pay-per-view. Like, this guy over the past year has had a hell of a run, and I'm so happy for him because he deserves it. The amount of work that he's put off, the amount of crap that he's taken from people online and people saying whatever they want to say about Orange Cassidy when they don't get a very simple gimmick in that he's playing mind games with people. I don't get it. If you still don't get Orange Cassidy, I don't know what to tell you. At that point, I feel like you're trying not to get it. I understand people have different tastes as far as wrestling goes. I do think some people are doing it just for the clicks and for the bad faith criticism, which they like. That's fine. Do you, King? But I don't know. We got an update on the poll that's up on the community tab. What did you think about AEW Dynamite tonight? 102 votes. 41% think good. 7% think bad. 14% think meh. And 38% of y'all did not watch. Even if you didn't watch, be sure to smash that like button on this stream so more people see it. All right. What else we got? We have the main event to talk about. Hangman Page, RVD, and Hook teaming up to take on Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, and the Machine, Brian Cage. So this was interesting because Hangman Page, RVD, and Hook had a backstage vignette or a backstage promo, I should say, where Hangman Page was like calling out Hook. It's like, yeah, Hook, you lost to Samoa Joe. You didn't do your job. RVD, you couldn't beat Swerve Strickland in a hardcore match? What are you doing? Tonight we take care of business. Hangman Page is a pompous, arrogant a-hole. That is the character we have. He is Magnum Page right now. Like, with the mustache too. I love it. Like, this is great character development by AEW and Hangman Page, because it seems like overnight they've just turned him from one of AEW's like longest running, most beloved baby faces to just a jerk. That's what he is. Right now, Hangman Page is an absolute jerk. I love it. Because he's a jerk that's actually has like good motivation, because his motivation isn't even to win the belt. His motivation isn't selfishness. His motivation is revenge. He is so captivated by revenge on Swerve for breaking into his house, threatening his family, that he is willing to do everything and anything, cross all boundaries, and cross the line into being a bad guy in order to ensure that Swerve Strickland does not, will not, and will never win the All Elite Wrestling World Championship. I love that motivation. I love the character development. I love the fact that there's a reason, a good reason, and a reason that makes sense for him to be the way that he is right now. And if you ask me, honestly, like, I want to see more of this. And I want us to get to a point where the Young Bucks and Hangman Page, they reunite as heels. Because when they were heels on the Indies and ROH and New Japan before AEW, heel Hangman Page hits different. Let me tell you something. We love face Hangman Page. We love the good guy. We love him. But my God, man, heel Hangman Page is different. That was great. Go watch the original All In. I'm telling you. But great 6-man match to end the show. There were multiple instances where we saw the challengers in the main event, in the world title match at Revolution go head-to-head. The Swerve and Hangman got the biggest pop, obviously. And then we had a stare down between the three competitors. And his match ended with Samoa Joe putting the Coquina Clutch on Rob Van Dam, choking him out. And Joe reigning supreme, holding that belt up as Swerve and Hangman look on, and the tension builds just 2 weeks out from AEW Revolution in Greensboro. 15,000 plus going to be stacking into the Greensboro Coliseum. They're going to be on the rafters. Speaking of that, by the way, big shout out to JR, who is recovering from, I believe, he had like some sort of cancer treatment. I know he also like suffering from a broken hip. Shout out to JR. Hopefully he's doing better. If there's any shot, obviously, that he can make it to Greensboro for Sting's last match. Obviously, his health means way more than any of that. But if he can be there, I would love to hear JR on the call. That would be epic. That would be absolutely epic. Just like it would be epic for y'all to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Whew. Fun show, fun stream tonight. A little quickie. We love that. Overall thoughts on the show, I thought it was great. Like, was it the greatest AEW Dynamite? No, but it was really good. I thought it was really good. Like, if I had to put this on a scale, I'd say it was an 8 out of 10. Look, we'll go more specific here. 7.8 out of 10. How about that? 7.8 out of 10. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And there wasn't really anything bad on this show. I think there could have been more in some instances, and they could have done a little bit more. I want to see this Ruby Soho and Angela Parker stuff. I love that. More of that, please. Please, please, please. I hope they do like a whole like dating segment on Rampage. They should have done that last week. It was Valentine's Day. Why didn't they show a Valentine's Day with these two? Am I the only one in the world who cares about that? Probably. I don't care. Do it for me, Tony. Do it for me. Book it for me. Yeah. So that happened. Overall, really good show. Appreciated it. Loved it. Can't wait for next week, and I can't wait for Revolution. I'm already going to AEW Big Business in Boston, Massachusetts, so it would take a really cheap ticket for me to fly out to Greensboro for Revolution. But man, I'm thinking about it. I'm certainly thinking about it. We'll see. Guys, be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already done so. I appreciate y'all, Eric, and everyone else who was active, hitting that like button, who was in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, everyone, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.